but feeling like a weenie. But now it's 5:30. It's time for a martini. Welcome to our show. Welcome to our Kiki, the 5:30 Quarantini. Hello, and welcome to the 5:30 Quarantini. I am Michael Hull.
I am Dylan Bustamante.
And it's happy hour.
It's Thursday, Michael.
It is Thursday. Happy Thursday and happy hour. Dylan, how's it going?
Oh, it's great. It's been a wonderful day. It really has. I woke up this morning and I was watching The View, and Brandy was on The View. And guess what they announced?
Impossible.
It's possible.
It's possible.
Brandy and Whitney's Cinderella, the reason why I got Disney Plus, is finally coming to Disney Plus next Friday, and it's the best news in the whole world. It is the best news in the whole world. I know we have a lot of new viewers today, so you guys, if it's your first time, welcome. And I also know we have a lot of young viewers today, a lot of fans from Be More Chill, or perhaps Dear Evan Hansen. So if you're in the comments, let us know if you know what this Brandy Whitney Cinderella is, because it's a really big deal to me. I'm just not sure if it's a really big deal to anybody else. Let us know what's up. And if you don't know what it is, and you have Disney Plus, which I'm sure you do,
congratulations.
Watch it next Friday. It's gonna change. It's gonna blow your mind.
It is gonna be a big deal. Today was gorgeous. It felt like the first nice day following that crazy snowstorm we had.
I know. It was so beautiful out.
It set me up in a good mood, and I am so excited for this hour we're about to have.
Absolutely.
What do you say we jump right in? Because
jump right in.
I'm so excited about this. Our guest today does it all. And you guys, listen, I know that I have said that before on this show, but this time I really, really mean it. He is an actor, a singer, a comedian, a former lighting designer, a semi-professional auctioneer, just to name a few things. And in a few minutes, we're also going to test his bartending skills.
Yes, it's going to be great.
He made his Broadway debut originating the role of Jared Kleinman in Dear Evan Hansen, and more recently was seen both off and on Broadway as Jeremy in Be More Chill.
That is right. And Be More Chill wasn't his first appearance in a Joe Iconis musical, because he also starred in the Black Suits at Barrington Stage Company and is a semi-permanent fixture in the Joe Iconis Christmas Extravaganza, a little closer to home here in New York City.
Yes. His voice has made him a staple of the concert and cabaret circuit here in New York City, and his comedic chops have made him an audience favorite, an award-winning comedic favorite. On stages all over.
He also stars in the film One Penny and can be seen as Winston in seasons 3 and 4 of Billions. But I think he's most famous for the production of Wonderful Town that we did in Brooklyn about 10 years ago. So let's meet today's guest bartender,
Will Roland.
I don't wanna be a hero, just wanna stay in the line. I'll never be a Rob De Niro. For me, Joe Pesci is fine, and so I follow my own rules, and I use them as my tools to stay alive. I don't wanna be special, no, I just wanna survive. Come on, come on, go, come on, come on, go. Once your letter first gets tweeted, that shit never gets deleted. One kid clicks, then 2, then 6, and you know it's going viral. You'll be an internet celebrity, 'cause it'll spread like fucking AIDS, baby. Now everybody knows your shit is going viral. You'll be the poster boy for gay and lame. So either kill yourself or change your name, 'cause it's going viral.
Yes, Will Roland.
Hi guys.
Hello.
You guys,
Oh my
that
God.
I need to immediately interrupt whatever you were about to say and say that was the first of all, that was the most like factual and flattering intro that I've ever heard about me in my life. I've had like at this point in the last couple of years, like I've been introduced. And
Right.
that was like far and away the best one. It had the most truth in it. It also like covered the largest quotient of like things that I care about. And like that montage. There were some deep cuts. There were some deep cuts all over the place. I'm very, very impressed. You guys should truly like if places were jobbing that out, you should be doing intros of like, because like if that's you came up for me, like the Audra one would people would be in tears before she took the stage. Like,
well, I want to say that making those video packages had become like my highlight of my week in quarantine, and today was no exception. But there was still so much more that like I've seen you do.
I mean,
that
Dylan,
I was like,
you've maybe seen me perform more than, with the exception of like 2 Broadway stage managers, you've probably seen me perform more than anyone in the world.
Probably. I would say that's true.
Well, we were really excited to step our game up for you today. And I see you've stepped your game up for us as well. You are by far the most professional appearing guest we've had yet. There's some camera work. Your lighting is gorgeous.
Thanks, yo.
You're a professional guest.
It's my little home studio. I'm the kind of person, like I understand people who are like, this is going to be over. I don't want to invest a lot of like time and energy and money in like this
Mm-hmm.
period of our lives. But I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, we're stuck in here. Like,
Yeah.
my shit look nice. I don't know.
Well, this show started as an Instagram live and has grown into this because of COVID.
Right.
But listen, I think this stuff is here to stay. I think the streaming has changed the game.
Oh, yeah.
It's so fun. It's so easy. And you can interview anybody anywhere in the world from the comfort of your own, bedroom. Not to ruin the illusion, from my streaming studio.
I watched Lauren Marcus did a concert from Broadway Music Hall the other night.
Yeah.
And I was like watching it on my couch, and like obviously I wanted to be there more than anything, but it was like one of the best looking and sounding things that I've encountered this whole year. Also I was like, why shouldn't we leave these 3 cameras set up when there is an audience in the room? Like, why shouldn't we do that? Because it's not like people are like, oh, people won't come to the show. And I'm like, no, people want to come to the show. Like, but if they can't come to the show, like, let them buy a pay what you can ticket online and like watch it online.
And watch from home.
Right.
Especially if it's going to look good. Like, if it's going to look shitty, then don't bother. But like, if it's going to look and sound good, then
Right.
You know.
And we've seen like it come from, I remember the first concerts we were watching in like March.
Yeah.
And like watching what like those were to like what's coming out now is truly everyone's up to their game, which is
The game has been changed.
Yeah,
people are stepping it up. But listen, you're ready to go. So I'm expecting a lot from you. I've got some ideas from one-man musicals, cabarets. You've got some shows in your back pocket that maybe we'll revamp right here in this lovely blue room with your black suits poster behind you.
Yes.
I love it. We have so much to catch up on. I'm so excited to spend an hour with you today for happy hour. But first things first, this is a happy hour broadcast.
Yes.
So, Will Roland, what is your drink of choice on this Thursday afternoon?
Okay, well, if there's one thing I love to do in this life, it's buy local. And if there's something I like to buy, it's a quality product.
Okay.
So today I'm pimping from my friends over at Three's Brewery, which is not far from my house, Other Ephemera, which is a hoppy lager.
Oh, I thought that's a happy lager at first.
Yeah, they don't write like overly fluffy blurbs, which is I like places that do that, but I also like that they don't. And I'll be drinking it out of this. It's still cold. It doesn't look frosty anymore because it dripped. Oh, it's so gross. This is my my Burlington, Vermont 20th annual Garlic Festival commemorative mug.
Oh,
that
Garlic
I
Festival.
got a Labor Day weekend many years ago with some buddies up in Vermont.
At a garlic festival. What is
terrible.
What is a?
It was a terrible place. It should have been great. It sucked. It was and I bought this hat. I bought this Garlic Festival hat.
Oh, you're all in right now.
Merch. You brought
I didn't mean to. I just like this hat. And this is my good mug.
Well,
I love it. I am also drinking small this evening. I have a blueberry and acai truly from the corner CVS. It's just a few steps from my house.
oh, and I have a Brooklyn winter lager.
Love it. Well,
it's Brooklyn and winter.
Yeah. It's
Do you
both
live in Brooklyn, Dylan? Are you in Dylan?
I live in Queens.
In Brooklyn?
I live in Queens.
Close enough.
Yeah.
yeah,
The
close
borough
enough.
of the world. Isn't that what they call it? The world's borough?
I think so. It's just a G train away from.
Correct.
I am going to pour this out.
I
don't have a fancy. I would have brought an etched pint glass if I knew that we were going so full out. But cheers.
Cheers.
And cheers.
There it is.
Clink.
Love it.
That is good.
Will, you're in Brooklyn though, right?
I am.
That's awesome. And have you been here all of quarantine?
I have. I have been. I'm very lucky. I live in Park Slope, not that far from where we did the Gallery Players production of Wonderful Town. Yeah, it's actually been this has been an unpleasant time, and this has been a very pleasant place to ride it out.
I love that. I love that so much.
Yeah,
That's awesome. Well,
I feel the same way.
I do as well. I'm glad there was a point at the beginning of this where I almost was going to travel and try to ride this out somewhere else. And I think I just would have missed. I love nesting. I love my home. I think I would have missed being in my own space. So yeah, I think that's awesome. Other than setting up this fabulous studio, it's obviously a bit of a lifestyle change to go from gigging and hustling and running to sitting at home. How have you been? How are you holding up? How is this quarantine treated you?
It's been hard, but it's also been we've made the most of it. I live with my fiance Stephanie, and so we were supposed to get married last May. And then we were like, oh, this seems like it's going to last longer than 6 weeks. Let's get married in August. And then we obviously didn't get married in August either. And they were like, all right, let's maybe kick it to sometime in 21 or 22. So we're still figuring that out. Oh, bye, Dylan. It was nice to see you.
Something just happened. He'll be back. He always is.
We were just saying before this, we were talking about people who have good internet. And
I know, we jinxed ourselves.
Truly jinxed it.
We were like, this is going to be the dream team. Here he is. Dylan, we jinxed ourselves. We were like, this is going to be the dream team. 3 guys with great cameras and great internet. And then you just dropped out on us.
I'm not going to lie. My internet has been really weird since this last snowstorm.
Yeah. Because you live in Queens where the poles are above the ground.
Right. When they were like, the trains are closing above ground, I was like, this is my first time. I've only lived in Queens for 2 years, and this is the first time that's happened. And I was like, how am I supposed to go anywhere?
I'm here now. Yeah.
I'm here. Not that I'm going anywhere, but.
Speaking of Queens, speaking of Brooklyn, both of which are on the longest of islands, the Long Island, the 3 of us also share something else, which is that now you originally started growing up here in New York.
I did, yes.
But then moved out to Long Island.
We all have
Dylan
516 area codes.
Grew up. We do all have 516
Just
area
like
codes.
the song.
Yes.
So, being a Long Island kid, a fellow Long Island kid, I know you're one quick train ride from the city. Mm-hmm. Did you, kind of in a full circle moment, just because, you've now been a part of 2 incredible Broadway shows that have some really incredible fandoms, especially young fans, people who are getting into the theater and are excited to be a part of it. Did you find benefit in growing up so close to the city? Did you manage to get in a lot and kind of, I remember being 8 and taking the train as soon as I could be like, Mom and Dad, bye.
Yeah.
Did you get to have that experience?
Yeah. So we lived in the Village when I was little. I lived on 11th and Broadway, right next to Grace Church, where that Halloween store is. I lived in that building.
Wow.
Which that Halloween store is closing.
I know. It's iconic.
I know.
We rallied to save the Beachman Theater. We rallied to save Birdland. I feel like we need to rally to save that Halloween store next.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, their rent must just be through the roof. I mean, I know the antique dealer who rented that space before that Halloween store rented that space. He works with my dad, and so anyway. But so
you are the youngest old New Yorker I know.
I've been around. We all watch Pretend It's a City.
Pretend It's a City, season 2 with Will and Fran.
I felt very seen. I was like, yeah, why aren't they walking? But yeah, so I lived in the city until I was 8, and then we moved out to Long Island. And I like enjoyed my first Broadway show was after we moved, funny enough. But it's because I was little. I mean, you can take a 7-year-old to a Broadway show, but like they may or may not appreciate it.
Right.
And they waited till I was 10. So that's a good age. I think it's a good age for a first Broadway show.
Well, do you remember what your first Broadway show was?
It was Cats.
Oh,
what a first Broadway show.
And then very quickly after that, to the point where actually Cats might have been the second, because we saw them in I saw 3 shows in 4th grade. I can't quite remember the order. I'm pretty sure Cats was first, but I saw Cats, I saw Lion King, and I saw Saturday Night Fever.
Oh,
I wish
Saturday
I
Night
saw Saturday
Fever.
Night
Oh my God, it's a blast. It's so great.
I thought it was the most fun I had. I was a little kid. Half the show right over my head, but I was having the best time.
Yeah,
loved Saturday Night Fever.
And they like invented that notion. Like they had that great commercial that's like, "You'll be dancing in the aisles," and like, and it was like obviously that became like that was part of what made Mamma Mia so huge. But like Saturday Night Fever did it first at the Minskoff. So, and that was the thing. So I guess, no, yeah, I saw Lion King at the New Amsterdam. That's what it is. So I saw Lion King before they moved to the Minskoff. Saw Saturday Night Fever at the Minskoff. But in Cats, I found the playbill like a year ago. Like I had kept it all these years.
Who did you see? Was there someone that you know now in it?
Chris Catelli was Mr. Mistopheles.
Okay.
Lena Hall, pre-name change, was Jelly Loram as Selena Carvajal.
Selena Carvajal. Yeah.
Our friend Sharon Wheatley was in it.
Oh my God.
Sharon Wheatley was
Broadway's Come From Away.
Was I think she was Jenny Anydots. And then
she was like a lifer. I
discovered this thing. Yeah, truly. But I discovered it actually, I guess it was like 2 or 3 years ago that I found this playbill because I talked about it at work when I was still at Dear Evan Hansen. And I brought it up to Garrett Long, who understudied the 2 moms. And Garrett was like, "Oh yeah, Sharon beat me in that audition."
Oh my God.
Garrett was like, "Yeah, I fell on my ass in that audition." Like hold down the rake.
I love what a small world it is. I also have saved all of my playbills from every show I've ever seen. And when I was little, my first show ever was Beauty and the Beast. But early in my show going youth was Grease, the '94 revival.
Yeah.
And now I live like 10 blocks from Jen Cody.
Oh, no, his internet's going out.
I'm next. I'm next.
Wait, this is so crazy. This has literally not happened in so long.
This is amazing. This is great.
I think we jinxed ourselves. I think we jinxed ourselves.
I'm glad that I came on your show and broke it.
Will, you've officially broken the 5:30 Quarantini. But I'm sure he'll be back in just a moment.
Baby!
How are we doing? Are we nailing? Is this the best episode
Will's
yet?
next. Will's
I
next.
broke your show!
We're going viral.
This is what we get for having big egos going into today's episode.
I know.
But it's fine. Just keeping us humble. You know what? You gotta.
Correct.
Okay, so who lives down the block?
Jen Cody.
Oh, yes.
And it turns out I opened that playbill, and sure enough, Cody was in that show when I saw it. And I'm like, holy crap. This was like a mind-blowing experience for me. And now you're just a friend of mine. And I'm like, it's a small world. I love it. I love how small it is.
It's wild stuff.
I'm trying to think if there's anyone. I mean, I saw Hairspray a bunch of times when I was in high school. And, that whole cast, is now names.
Yeah. I mean, everybody went somewhere from that cast.
Everybody from Hairspray blew up. Well,
Oh, you go.
No, you go.
Oh,
no, you go.
The show that I in terms of we're talking about infancy shows, but the shows that I went nuts for that were life-changing for me in high school was I came in and I saw that 2006 Sweeney Todd revival I
Oh,
saw that show 3
God.
times.
Yeah.
Because I was like, this is the best piece of theater that I have ever seen or ever will see. I
and
went
Cerberus was
nuts for it. I had like a similar transformative event at that same season, or same year at least, Lieutenant of Inishmore. I went crazy for Lieutenant of Inishmore. Like,
Oh my God, you were so highbrow as a youth.
I know.
Me,
I
my
never
high
learned about
man.
that.
program. We really stuck our noses up at a lot of stuff, and it fucked me up for a little while because I was like, oh wait, I like all this trashy stuff. Like,
You were I was not that cultured when I was that young. I came in and saw I saw Spelling Bee like 15 times. I saw a show called Altar Boys a bunch of times. But I was not yet, my taste level had not evolved to a Will Roland level at that young age.
My senior year, this was the big, I'm about to drop, this is the highest brow piece of theater I've ever seen in my life.
Okay.
We took like sometimes you do like a school, like a big trip where you'll like go somewhere with like a whole bunch of people. So we took a trip to London my senior year.
Oh my God,
and we spent a week. We spent a few days in Stratford-on-Avon and then a few days in London. But while we were in Stratford, we went to the Royal Shakespeare Company and saw they were doing at the time. The big thing they were doing was the Octology. They were performing all 8 of Shakespeare's histories in rep. And so I saw. We like got off the plane. We got in on a Friday morning from a red eye. We drove to Stratford. We had dinner. Friday night, we saw Henry VI Part 1. Saturday morning, we had breakfast, Henry VI Part 2. Lunch, Henry VI Part 3. Dinner, Richard III.
Holy crap.
All the same cast, like 40 actors doing all these roles.
That
in
is
this incredible, like three-side thrust theater. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, you're like, this is it. Theater is where it's at. Oh my God, talk about a challenge to be able to do all of those shows in your brain at the same time.
Every single person in that show is much better than I am now.
Oh my gosh.
They're more talented individuals. They work harder. They have greater skill sets. They're better.
Like, I can't imagine doing that many different shows like in a row. Like I feel like I would just be like, I don't even know what show we're doing right now.
They did it like episodes of a soap opera. It was incredible. Well, because there's like recurring characters like across the plays.
Right.
Like, Richard, when they call him Gloucester, is, he shows up in Henry VI Part 2 and you're like, oh shit, that's going to be Richard III later. Oh, damn.
Because that's how we all react when we see Shakespeare. We're just like,
also, they did 3 shows in a day. That's
right. I'm just amazed that, like, I feel like whenever I've gone from one show to the next show, like, as soon as I punch my card out of a show, it is gone. I remember it for, like, 2 more weeks. And then if you called me and you were like, hey, what happens in this scene? I'd be like, no idea. Was I in it? Did it happen? No idea. So, like, the idea that you could have multiple Shakespearean dramas all rolling around in there and just be like, okay, let's pull this one out and do it at 2 o'clock boggles my mind.
Now, see, I'm the opposite. You could drop me into a show from 4 years ago, be like, all right, do the opener. I'm like, okay.
I
can't remember what I had for lunch. I cannot remember what I had for lunch. I truly couldn't tell you right now.
But you're ready to go back in.
But I'm ready
at a drop of a hat.
Especially like if I did it enough times, it's like I'm so, that, you gotta do a quick change now. Like the bloop.
It's weird. Well,
all right,
wild. You're ready to go back in at the drop of a garlic festival hat. Well, listen, I love Broadway. You love Broadway. And we're really going to put that memory of yours to the test because it is time for today's game of the day.
Oh, no.
Today's game of the day is inspired by Broadway, where, Will Roland stars. It's also inspired by some iconic sci-fi movies. Now, Will, we heard you were a bit of a sci-fi fan. I'm hoping this is true.
I am. Yeah, I'm not we'll see if this crashes and burns. I'm not like hardcore. Like I haven't read Dune. But...
Well, I have faith in you. I think this is going to be okay. Here's how today's game works.
Okay.
There are some great sci-fi movies out there, but I feel like what most of them are missing is a musical theater element. So,
God.
I love musicals, and this is what I've done. I've reimagined a bunch of famous sci-fi movies to take place in a musical theater world. I'm going to read you the trailer for a new hit sci-fi movie musical, and your job will be to tell me what Broadway musical inspired that movie. For a bonus point, you can also tell me what the sci-fi movie is. So basically, I've mushed together a sci-fi movie and a Broadway musical, usually ones that I think share something in common, weirdly. And you're gonna tell me for the point, you're gonna tell me what the musical is. If you happen to know the sci-fi movie, it's a bonus point.
All right.
So here we go. I'm gonna
He's
start.
ready.
I'm so glad you know sci-fi because have you ever done an interview where you just say something that's not true? Like where someone's like, "Oh, do you know this?" And you're like, "Oh, yes, of course." And then immediately you're like, "Why did I say that?"
What I do famously is I lie about. I do this all the time, and and my close friends make fun of me because it's like I have like a tick when I do it. If you have a media property, a movie, television show, something that I must watch, like you're like you gotta watch it, and I already have been told to watch it, I will just tell you that I saw it. I will quote you something from the trailer. I will just be like, "Oh yeah, I loved it." Like I just do that because I don't want to hear it again.
Right. Well,
I love that.
She was great in
so
that because I read it somewhere. I read that she was great in
you're
that.
like, sure, Well, I was.
Oh
in
God,
my
I'm going to use
deep
that on
dive-
you in the future of the world when we see each other in real life. I'm going to be like, "Have you seen this?"
I'm like, "Oh God, yeah." Like,
Dylan,
hold on.
Dylan, did you see
No,
Dear
I've
Evan
seen
Hansen?
Jurassic Park.
Did I see Dear
what?
Evan Hansen?
Dear Evan
Yes.
Hansen?
Yeah.
Will Roland was great in it.
Was he though?
Yeah, who knows?
I actually have seen Dear Evan Hansen. I've seen it.
having trouble understanding right now. Please try a little later.
Alexa, I wasn't even talking to you. I just muted her.
It's going great. All right, so I'm glad that this one is a truth, that you are a sci-fi fan, and I'm hoping that you get these right. Here comes your first question. I should mention, since I made today's incredibly well-structured and thought-out game, we're going to find out. Dylan
find
has
out
not seen the
soon enough.
answers, so Dylan is on your team, as are everybody in the audience. So if I really stump you, just look pensive and keep one eye on the comments, and maybe someone will come to your rescue with an answer. Again, we are looking for the name of the Broadway musical that inspired this. That's the point. The bonus point is if you happen to know the sci-fi thing. But let's see. Here comes your first one. Christine. Oh, wait. I got to hit my, I have sound cues. Christine is a typical teenager in the 80s. The 1880s, that is. Until one day, she's transported through time through a plutonium-powered mirror created by an eccentric tinkerer in a cape. How do I stop it? There it is. So that was your first sci-fi movie trailer.
So the
Christine?
musical is Phantom.
The music is Phantom. When you get something right, you'll hear Alex Newell riffing. The musical is Phantom. Very good. Do we know what sci-fi movie inspired that musical movie sci-fi parody?
Transported through time?
Mm-hmm.
So you said? Okay.
In 1880, I'm gonna guess it's The Time Machine.
It is a time machine. The 1880s actually refers to the Phantom of the Opera part of this.
Oh.
So, yes. I'll read the clue
girl
one more
gets
time.
transported through time.
Don't worry about the time so much.
There's no time travel.
Instead, think about someone transported through a plutonium-powered mirror created by an eccentric tinkerer.
Okay, that's Back to the Future.
It is!
You got both of that right.
I thought that might be what it looks like if we had a Back to the Future meets Phantom of the Opera musical.
Back to the Future musical coming your way, right?
It is.
It's open already. Isn't it in London, maybe?
It was
supposed to
open in London.
Do we know if it did?
It did. Not in London, but outside of London. where other like it was an out of town, but in London. I don't know what it's called.
Right.
And the only reason I know is because the owners of 54 Below are
Involved.
Involved in it. All right. Well,
yeah, I don't know if
you're
I'm allowed
one
to say
for
that,
one.
but I just did.
Well,
Sweet.
it's just the internet. Where's it going to
It's
go?
just the internet. It's not going to be here forever. So,
Well, you're 1 for 1 in this game that I never doubted, not one bit. Here comes question number 2. It
These sound
starts with a crime. Our protagonist, a brash space explorer who lost his mother at a young age, finds himself on the run after stealing a loaf of bread that was coveted by Ronan. Now, to evade capture, he's forced to rally with a group of space misfits, including a bunch of lovely ladies, a tree man, some French revolutionaries, and a talking raccoon.
Oh, baby! That is Guardians of the Galaxy mashed up with Les Mis.
yes.
Sure is. That would be what it would look like if Peter Quill joined Les Mis and they had a great time in space.
There's been a lot of people saying, oh God, the comments are going so fast. Way to go. Aladdin?
For stealing. He
Well,
steals
he
an
steals a loaf
apple,
of
doesn't
bread,
he?
he
Oh, no, he does steal a loaf of
steals
bread.
He does steal a loaf of bread, but
The kids at home are
Close.
starting to learn about what we might call tried and true tropes.
Tried and true tropes.
He's an orphan. He steals some bread, and the oppressive state comes at him with a ridiculous penalty.
You plug them all in, and
They're
what do
gonna
you
kill
have?
him over the bread. How about that?
There you go. Every Disney movie from the 80s and the first half of the 90s. You're welcome.
Yes.
All right. You are 2 for 2. I am very impressed. Let's see if I can stump you with this third of our sci-fi movie musical mashups. In a future society, time travel exists, but it's only available to those with the means to pay for it on the black market. In this 2012 sci-fi action thriller, Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes back in time to tear Andy Karl's ACL. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes back in time to tear Andy Karl's ACL. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes back in time to tear Andy Karl's ACL. What do we think?
Well, what's funny is that I'm so at the beginning. I think there's 2 musicals that apply really well here.
Okay.
I think the obvious one is Groundhog Day,
You are correct.
but then
Okay.
it's also Urinetown.
Mm-hmm.
It is somewhat Urinetown.
It's basically Urinetown plus Looper. It could be Urinetown plus Looper without being Groundhog Day at all.
Well, I'm gonna give you credit and a half because I was looking for Looper and Groundhog Day. But listen, you can have it. You'll get 3 points for that because I'm definitely keeping score and it
I'm all
definitely
about
matters.
points.
So tack it on. You, sir, are up to 7 points in 3 short questions. We're impressed. And the comments are nailing it too. I'm very impressed with everybody today. This is going
I know.
better than
Look
expected.
at this. Groundhog. I love
Yeah.
Groundhog Day.
Groundhog Day was a blast.
Oh my God, I had the best time. And I got to see
know.
it. This is such a weird thing that we say now, but I got to see it while Andy Karl was injured. Which is like a weird, like nobody wants Andy Karl to be injured.
brace on his leg. No, actually, I also saw him with a brace on his leg. I was like, oh, it's cool. They put a brace on the leg on the body
Yeah.
double too. That's cool.
Yeah. Like, and
I
I
did
wish
notice
ill.
that.
I would never wish ill on Andy Karl, but then having it be the big blow up that it was to be like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I saw it when Andy Karl like defied the odds and
And
like
he's
did it
okay.
in a brace.
He's
Yeah.
okay.
And
Yeah.
he's totally
So
fine.
it's all
now,
right.
so-
If he were like permanently injured from that, we'd be like, yeah, I saw him after he got hurt. But like now that he's okay, we're like,
Like, we
oh
saw
man,
him
what a
do
trooper!
it.
You
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah. It was awesome. All right. You're up to 7 points,
You got
7
through
out
that.
of 6. So here comes your next question. Not this one. That's the wrong sound cue for this. I think
Okay.
I only have 3 buttons here. They say action, discovery, and suspense. I think we're going to go discovery for this one.
Oh.
Nope. This one was action. You're right. Slap on your roller skates and get ready to skate for your life. Because a cyborg assassin is coming to Earth disguised as an Australian human. There's a chalk artist residing in Los Angeles whose unborn son would one day become the savior against machines. But will this cyborg be back to stop? Nope. This cyborg will be back to stop it at all costs.
Oh yeah, it's Twilight
Almost
Express
had
and the
it.
Terminator.
Yes!
Oh.
Bonus points because I fucking love trains.
Trains are the best. I would have, full disclosure, I would have taken Starlight Express or Xanadu. Yet again, sci-fi lending itself to Broadway. There's got to be a niche for this somewhere. It might be right here on this show.
When Michael told me this game was happening, I was like, good luck figuring this out, because I would have no idea where to start on any of this stuff. But yeah, Xanadu. Xanadu is a sci-fi movie,
Basically. All right, that's
That
2
is
more
true.
points for
Trains
you.
rights, and I agree. Trains rights and trans rights and all rights.
All right, I'm so into it. I've got 3 more of these bizarre questions, and so far we haven't even slightly stumped you. So let's see about this one. When Daniel finds himself critically injured in a car crash, he wakes up on the other side of a lush, habitable moon under the reign of King James Cameron. Will a large blue woman be able to nurse him back to health? Can these lovers from different worlds ever have a future together? A powerful and symbolic tree will reveal all in this 2009 sci-fi fantasy film.
Once on this island and
Yep.
Avatar.
Nailed it! You guys, they both
and there's Once on this island right there.
They both end with symbolic, powerful trees.
I gotta be real. I love Once on this Island. It's one of my favorite shows in the world. I don't really get the tree thing. I think it's kind of dumb.
I agree, but for the purposes of this
I love
game...
it. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's one of my absolute all-time favorite shows. It has been since I was a kid. And I'm always like, a tree?
Yeah. I feel like I just don't need it. Like, you could just end it a little earlier without the tree. But that said, this last Circle in the Square revival was one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen in a theater. I was beside myself.
I didn't see it. I'm ashamed of it.
Well, you were working, weren't you?
I feel like you were working.
I think there were like 2 times I could have gone, though.
Well,
and I took those days off instead.
Cut yourself a break, but you missed a really good,
I just think I would.
show.
I know I would have loved it.
Yeah, I saw it 3 times. I want to say, because they had a standing room policy that was just like not really talked about.
Yeah,
and I live not too far. Yeah, I live not too far from the theater, so I just literally would go down, and if you stand in the Circle in the Square, it's such a quick show, and the ensemble and the cast were all like doing things in the house that if you weren't back there you wouldn't notice, but there were like costume changes, in character, prop handoffs, like all sorts of like wild stuff happening back there that I was like in my element. I had the best time. All right, I see a lot of people nailing it in the comments, and a lot of love for trees. Well done, trees.
A lot of love for trees.
Yes. All right, here we go. I got 2 more, and I got to the show a little early today so I could comb through some comments. And I think I hope I'm not opening a bad can of worms here.
You might be.
I'm nervous.
Should have cleared it with me first.
But I think this one is going to be a hit. Let's see. When a couple of kids in suburban California come across an out-of-this-world visitor, they take him home to their 3-bedroom house to show him some comfort and joy. But when things take a turn for the worst, will he stick around or will he phone home?
Oh man, Bat Boy E.T. E.T. Bat Boy. That's the best combo ever.
Here's the thing. Are they the same story?
I mean, basically.
When I was trying to mash them up, I was like, wait a minute, they're all basically the same. Yeah. But yes, we've got a Bat Boy and I keep missing it because they're moving. NET. Two stellar shows mashed together for what I'm sure would be a hit sci-fi movie musical.
I mean,
starring Will Roland.
Well, I gotta be honest. I'm now old enough and fat enough that I don't want to like do Bat Boy on Broadway anymore. like now I want to wait until I can play Dr. Parker. which is really
Yeah.
what I wanted to do in college. I was like, I want to play Dr. Parker, and they're like, you're playing Batboy, and I was like, I'll be the star. like it was like really, I was a nightmare. I was a complete asshole.
We all
When
have
I was
shows
in
like
college-
that, though.
When I was in college, I understudied Batboy, and I really hoped that I would go on. But I understudied Batboy, and I played Sheriff Reynolds in a fat suit.
That's cute.
How about that?
Yeah, I think that show's so good. I don't know why. I don't know why. I heard some rumor once, and I feel like I can talk about this rumor because I'm not in any way involved with the production at all. I keep hearing this rumor that there's like a movie, like the movie rights have been optioned, and that prevents any revival from happening. But like the movie's not like happening. Like somebody bought the movie rights and it's just like sitting on them, and we can't have a revival of this show that only closed because of 9/11. Like it would still be running.
Right. What a bummer. Speaking of, go with me here. Speaking of Once on This Island, I would like to officially begin my petition for a Circle in the Square, Michael Arden directed Batboy.
Oh God,
in that theater. I would lose my mind, I think.
Perfection.
Why
it would be
not?
amazing. That theater is a literal cave.
Yeah.
Or do it in the court before they like make it not shitty anymore, like they did Urinetown. Because remember, Urinetown was at Henry Miller's theater, and it was like falling apart. It was like an ugly, terrible Henry Miller. That's right.
And they were like,
Henry
we
Miller.
could use that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do that same like do half of the renovation, do this revival, and then like it would just be amazing. I mean, it's such a good show. It is such a good show. In so many
so
musicals
here for it.
that have like a tree, like they're great shows, but it's like a tree, you know, like Batboy has none of that. It just works. It's just a good show.
Batboy has none
No
of that.
trees. It has spelunking.
And let me
it
play
has-
Dr. Parker.
Yep. And you can play Dr. Parker. And I will play Sheriff Reynolds in a fat suit yet again.
We famously
can't wait.
cast people in shows on this show, so you get that role.
Yeah. We're very good at
I
it.
deserve it.
We're very good at casting. All right.
Also,
this is...
I don't think an ET musical would be a good idea.
You don't think so?
No, because I believe in my heart of hearts that E.T. is nearly perfect, and it is a mistake to adapt a nearly perfect property. Like you should pick something, like the best musicals are made of like good but weird source
Where
material.
you can do something to elevate it or change it or reclaim it in a
like,
cool
don't
way.
take a movie that is a great movie. Take a movie that like you love that other people don't get and make that a good musical.
That's how I felt
Like that,
about
for me, that's-
Xanadu.
Hairspray, Xanadu are the perfect models. Like Hairspray is a great movie, but it's also like it's not a great movie. Like you know, like it's a great movie, but it's like you know.
And then when you see the musical, you're like, this is what it wanted to be. Yes.
You've improved upon it.
Yeah. So here's a very, very basic take, a hot take, but a very basic nerdy take of mine. And I want to know what you boys think about it. There's all this rumbling on the internet about the Wicked movie. Mm-hmm. And now I think Wicked is a near perfect musical. I am not ashamed to say that I love Wicked. I don't know that I'm excited for them to make a movie, even though I'm excited that it will bring that property to a bigger audience. I'm like a little nervous about it.
I am not going to offer a comment.
Great. No comment from you.
I'm not involved in any way. For the record, like I'm not like playing Bach in the Wicked movie.
Let's start
I'm not
that
playing
rumor.
Hero either. But no, I just think
You hear that? He is not playing Bach.
you know, I got too many friends who you know, like I'm not gonna offer a comment on it whether it's a good or bad idea. Also, like, is it really gonna happen?
Who knows? They've been moving around so.
They were talking about it a literal decade ago.
Yeah. And listen, I love Wicked, and I would not wish the project any ill will, but I just love the musical so much. Speaking of musicals, which I don't know if I mentioned, I love. Let's go to our last sci-fi movie musical, and here it comes.
Exciting.
When their car breaks down on the side of the road, a pair of sweethearts go looking for help at the nearest island theme park. Nothing is as it seems, however, as they soon find themselves face to face with the park's transvestite billionaire mastermind. Will they make it out alive, or will they find themselves extinct thanks to one of the mad genius's creations? There's a lot going on in this one.
So it's Jurassic Park.
It is Jurassic Park.
And the musical. Oh, the musical's Rocky Horror. Okay, all right. I was like,
It sure is.
and then I went, oh, duh.
Yeah,
Yes.
duh. Let me consult my scorecard here because that concludes our game, and it looks as if carry the one. That's
You
a
won.
perfect game. Will Roland, you're a winner at Sci-fi movie
across the
musical
board.
mashup. Tens across the board. Well done. I never doubted you for a minute. Oh my goodness. Well, thanks for playing our very silly game. And before, it's now 6:15, so happy hour is over. Drinks are full price again. So we're rolling down on this show. But before we can let you go anywhere, we do have 2 questions that we've asked all of our guests thus far. They are the hard-hitting journalism question portion of the evening. And so you're next up. And here they come, coming your way. Question number 1 is, we're going on about 10 and a half months of Broadway shutdown.
Yeah.
Which it's an unprecedented time. It has brought a lot of hurt to a lot of people. And it's been very, very bizarre. And I can't wait for it to be over. But what is something along the way, something in the last 10 or so months that has brought you some joy or kept you feeling creative or kept you going in this super challenging time?
This is so the folks who have been watching me do a lot of these streams lately are gonna say I'm kind of a broken record. But Steph and I started watching Steven Universe.
Okay.
Which I'm at this point now where I have recommended this show to so many people, and no one has watched it.
Oh no, I've watched it. It's the one with the the stuff, and they do the stuff. Yeah, totally watched it.
Oh no, he's just trying to be you.
did
He's
it.
just trying to be you.
Keep me in my own game. Don't fuck with me, Michael. Yeah. So I like. Here's the thing. Anybody who's watching this who has HBO Max and wants to watch something that is joyous, that is uplifting, that is heartful, that is unexpectedly deep. Steven Universe is a beautiful show. It's an animated show. It ran for a couple of years. I feel like it was like 2013 and 2019. Got 5 seasons of it. The episodes are 12 minutes apiece. And what's great about it is that it doesn't put a weak ass sheen over the problems of the world, but it does offer a worldview and an opinion of life that is unapologetically optimistic, unapologetically peace seeking, unapologetically joyous and good and empathetic. I loved it so much.
Oh, great.
And you said it's on HBO Max?
HBO Max, and like I said, it's a cartoon. Now here's what happens. I say it's animated, and then all the adults go like, it's a cartoon. And I'm like, the thing about cartoons that is so wonderful that I actually think more media would benefit from being animated is that you can put forth a non-cynical worldview that you're not allowed to do in live action unless it's goofy comedy.
Right.
And even the goofy comedy these days has to be really cynical. And there's nothing cynical about this show. There's nothing eye-rolly about it. It's really, 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 really great.
Great. Well, for any of the animation naysayers, I'm going to put them aside. I will trust you. I'm going to add this to my watch list because, as we've discussed, you're a highbrow gentleman, a highbrow artist.
It's true.
So I'm going to trust you on this one. I will put it on my list. I will start it. I'm not going to start it tonight because it's Drag Race UK night, but I will start it tomorrow night.
It is. That's thrilling.
Yeah, I can't wait. But I'm going to start it tomorrow night, and I'll let you know.
I never really watched an episode of Drag Race before quarantine, and I love Drag Race.
Isn't it great television? I'm obsessed.
It's incredible. I don't like the drama.
Right.
I don't like when people are mean or when people get their feelings hurt. But
Well,
I love the talent.
Yeah, the talent's incredible. The drama is what it is, and it's it's television. I feel like half of it is so manufactured anyway.
There's a lot of people who really enjoy it, but I don't.
Yeah. No, I'd rather watch everyone slay and be amazing, and I'll just cheer and yes them on. When the fights happen, I'm like, whatever, next, click, click, click.
Yeah.
But it's great television. All right, well, that's your first question. Dylan, do you want to give Will our second hard-hitting journalism question?
Absolutely. Yes. So the second hard-hitting journalistic question is, when this is all over and we are back to normal as normal will be, what are you most looking forward to?
Bars. It's just bars.
Yep.
It's not necessarily drinking. It's bars. You guys, again, that like intro blurb was the nicest thing anyone's ever said about me, and wildly factual and wildly complete. And it mentioned like how much cabaret I've done and how much like basement theater I've done and musical theater concerts and that scene of like, let's go somewhere and see a less than fully produced bit of quality performance that is like, not 2 acts. And then let's all go to the bar afterward.
Yep.
And like that has been the foundation for my greatest friendships and my most wonderful relationships and my greatest artistic collaborations. And just like, it's really nice to like, be like, oh, I got 2 hours to kill in Midtown. Like, I'm gonna go to Holdfast and just like start texting people or the West Bank and just like see who's around, or not even need to send that text because somebody's just there.
Right.
I
miss the like college campus aspect of it all. Just like being able to wander in and find a familiar face.
Yeah. I mean, I think that people they talk about the Broadway community. But I do think that the like larger New York theater community is like a real thing that like it's sort of hard to explain. And it's not just a Broadway thing because it was an experience that I had long before I made my Broadway debut and was the thing that sort of helped fuel me and get me to eventually making my Broadway debut. I just can't wait to just like be at a bar again.
Yeah. Well, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful that it will be soon, but I am certain that it will happen.
I'm optimistic. I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who's like, we're gonna keep sticking it in more arms every day until we're done. I'm one of those people. Like,
And until then, we just wear our masks and we do our part and we just stick it out so that we can get back to the bars.
Can't wait.
Can't wait. Well, this has been so much fun. Will, you have another show coming up on Saturday.
I do.
You're playing
I'm playing Roland X Road, who is
in my head he has a monocle, but I don't know if that's true.
He doesn't have a monocle, but that's only because I couldn't find one fast enough. He is the head parkologist at Michael Park presents Michael Park's Michael Park. Which is the latest in an installment of whodunit mysteries from the sick, demented brain of Andrew Barth Feldman. And the premise of this one is Michael Park is the same Michael Park that he is in our current reality, star of Dear Evan Hansen, As the World Turns, Stuck Everlasting, Stranger Things. He is also a theme park magnate. If you're not familiar with these murder mystery, these whodunits that Andrew's put together, they're a total blast. They are, they've run, I'm going to say something about time right now, and this is going to be totally not true, but they have heretofore run about between 90 minutes and 2 hours. And it's basically a long form improv game. So all of us get given characters and objectives at the top of the evening. We have to accomplish those objectives, and then someone gets murdered. And that actor returns as the investigator in the second half. And the actors and the characters and those who are watching at home try to solve the mystery in real time. And it's done very cleverly where there's these there are different rooms and you can like click back and forth between the different rooms and follow different characters. It's like Sleep No More, but on Zoom. And it's great. It's really, really great. It's a lot of fun.
That is so cool. I've seen Andrew post about these before, and I haven't been able to attend one yet, but I am planning to attend this Saturday's. because I love some improv and I love some Broadway. You guys, if you want to tune in, you can go to BroadwayWhoDoneIt.com. And we'll see you in the comments on Saturday. Until then, Will, we know that, time is weird right now, so it means an awful lot that you came to spend some of yours with us today. And we adore you, and thank you so much for hanging out with us.
It was a pleasure.
Happy hour.
Thanks for
Happy
having me.
hour.
Look, I had the hotel of my beer. I have to
Cheers.
go to the bartender and be like, can I get one more at happy hour price? Like,
Yeah, now's the time when you pull that wink and a nod to the bartender.
I know it's over at 6:30. It's 6:28. Like.
Can you ring me in 3 more before happy hour ends?
Just like,
I have a friend coming. I have a friend coming.
Fast.
Well, we adore you. Let us know how that happy hour ends up for you. But we'll see you on Saturday. And until then, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Bye, Will.
You guys, if you're just tuning in, you're late. You missed our very special Broadway bartender, Will Roland. We poured out a beer. We played some musical sci-fi trivia that Will absolutely beasted.
He crushed it, Michael.
And don't worry, this video will live on in perpetuity on the internet forever. So you can always go back and watch it. If you had fun tonight, please do hit subscribe. There are 3 shows that come your way on this very YouTube channel every week. And Dylan, you and I are kind of the finish line for this week. We will be back on Monday. Monday night is MT Trivia with Christopher and Kevin Metzger-Timson. 3 rounds of Broadway trivia, 2 special Broadway guests, and only 1 winner. 2 contestants, and one of them wins and the other one cries. It's very cutthroat.
And then on Tuesday, you're back with Jackie Cox with Good Morning Tonight.
I am.
And Michael, who are your guests next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday, speaking of Drag Race, I am live next Tuesday with Jackie Cox. Our guests are Vasthi Mompoint, who was in SpongeBob, who was in The Prom on Broadway, and then now has been on The Prom, the movie, and is just one of my favorites. I'm so excited to see her. And from The King and I, from the upcoming Sondheim musical that's going to stream, and from How to Get Away with Murder. Conrad Ricamora is joining us. I am so excited. It's going to be a good time. And then Dylan, you and I are back next Thursday with another Broadway happy hour.
We are.
Our guest is the very handsome Barrett Foa, coming to us from the other coast. So we're going to get him drunk at 2:30 in the afternoon. It's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
Until next time, you guys, thanks for tuning in. Wear a mask, wash your hands. We love you all, and cheers. Yes.